I'm feeling pretty good. Team's feeling good, so it's an exciting time to be a Cardinal.
We were talking to Matt Holliday yesterday and just kind of asking him about, what's it like to kind of ride the vibe out there when your team's going well. Now, you were out there last year. You guys ripped off 17, got everything fired up around this time of the year. Compared to this year and the run you're on right now, is the vibe similar? Like, how are you guys feeling right now?
I tell you, it is very similar, very similar. Now, we've had a couple already in August. We've had a couple, I think we had earlier 7-game win streak. I think we're on an 8-game win streak now. So, we're running some wins together. We're playing good baseball, and we're winning games that we should win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When we get a lead, we're able to hold on to it, close it out, and if we fall behind, we're able to come back and then close it out late in the game. So we're playing good baseball. There's no panic going on. We're just going out there competing from the first pitch to the last pitch and having fun while we're doing it. Now
that Wrigley looked like a good environment last night. I mean, I know the Cubs aren't having the best season, but, man, it looked like it was buzzing up there. How was it in there?
Oh, I mean, this atmosphere at Wrigley is unbelievable every time we play here. I mean, we know every time we play the Cubs, it's going to be a tough series. Those guys play us tough all the time. And it's always a fun series when we're here at Wrigley and, the atmosphere is buzzing.
So, kids, right now you guys are the hottest team in baseball, won 8 straight. What do you think the reason is for you guys catching fire right now? I mean, is it a combination of things with health, but also trade deadline, picking up some guys, Albert being Albert, just kind of all those things combined? What do you think?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's a combination of everything. We got some guys back from being hurt. We picked up some good guys at the deadline. And then we got our big boppers coming through every single time they come up to hit. So, you got Pujols, you got Goldschmidt, Arenado, you got those guys coming up clutch every single at-bat. And we've been pitching well. We've been playing great defense. And when you put all that together, that's how you win ball games.
And even though the Cardinals made some moves last year for Happ and Lester, I feel like the moves made this trade deadline were a little different. And I'm just wondering, when you go out there and when the team addresses the needs of the club, I mean, is there also just a jolt, not just those guys, Quintana and Montgomery, helping you on the mound, but is there a jolt in the clubhouse of basically saying, look, ownership and the front office, they're helping us out. They're trying to make us better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're a team that's, I feel like, always in the running. And then when we get that little boost, just like we did last year, all we need is that little push, to kind of shore up a couple things that might have been a little shakier. We had some guys hurt. We kind of fill those voids. Then it's like, okay, now we go. And that's kind of was the feeling last year in the second half, and that's the feeling again this year in the second half.
Hey, kids, that Nolan Arenado, I mean, like when you're watching him and he's making all these plays and you see the ball kind of going to a weird spot where you're like, how is he going to put this together? And he does somehow, and Goldie scoops it up, or whatever the case is, like, you just sit back and be like, man, oh man, I got to cherish these moments.
I don't think it's even a question anymore. He's the best third baseman of all time. He is. He makes plays I have never seen before and will never see again. He's that good. It's unbelievable. And his counterpart, Goldschmidt, at first base, he finishes a lot of those plays with some good scoops for old 2-8 over there at third base. I mean, maybe the best third baseman, first baseman combo in the history of the game. I'm just going to say it.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, I ain't against it. I sat there and watched Scott Rowland, but this is different. This is different what's happening. That play where that thing hopped over the mound the other day, and then he just put that thing on Goldie. I think Goldie might have saw half his life in his eyes when he let that thing go, but he made the play for it. But hey, man, let's talk about you a little bit too. You had a nice game out there in Arizona. Getting tuned in. Know you're working on getting some new sticks up there a couple weeks ago. But how you feeling, man, about going up there and doing your part in the mix of all this too?
Yeah, that's just my mindset. Just do my part. That's having good at bats. Or at least trying to have good at-bats every time I'm up there, get on base for the guys coming up behind me, and then, go out there and call a solid game, work with the staff, and just win ball games. At this time of the year, it's so easy just to focus on one thing, and that's winning games. So as long as we're winning, and we're seeing W's, I'm happy.
Now, you add in, a couple of really strong so far lefties in Quintana and Montgomery, and you're going out there, you're learning those guys, looking at them. How's it been for you getting used to what they've got offering? Because it's definitely the results are looking great, but how's it for you getting used to that, learning how to call a game with them, and just really getting your rapport together with those guys?
Yeah, that is the one tricky aspect of picking up pitchers at the deadline is you got to learn those guys quick because we need them – throwing well right away. But both of those guys are top-notch character dudes. They're great guys, easy to talk to. They have an idea of how they want to pitch, and they're smart on the mound. They can read swings. They can read the game. So working with those guys is super easy. They're two guys with a lot of experience, pitched in big games. So, my job is just to get with those guys as much as I can, talk to them, learn their personality, and go out there and execute a game plan.
So, Kiz, for yourself, we talked to you around the All-Star break when you went to go get the new bats. Did you immediately get those new bats, and do you think they're helping you? Obviously, you've been offensively much better the last couple months.
Yeah, so I got the bats in at the beginning of this month, but I hadn't used them until this past series in Arizona because I kind of, yes, they are molded for me and my swing specifically, but it almost is like they were too good. And like I struggled finding the barrel a little bit, like in BP and stuff. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. And I had been swinging the bat well, so I was sticking with my lucky bat, that wasn't customized. And I finally decided this series, I was like, okay, I've been using it in the cage, the puck bat. I've been using it in the cage, been using it in BP. I'm feeling good. Let me take it into the game. And it seemed to work for me, so I'm going to keep rolling with it.
Well, what does it mean when it's too good, though? What does that mean?
Well, it's like almost like it's so easy to swing because it's made for me, so it just whips through the zone.
Yeah.
So when I first started using it, I was always out in front of pitches and stuff because it was like it just was grooving with my swing like almost too perfectly. It's hard to describe it. But now that I've been working with it a little bit and have a feel for how the bat kind of whips through the zone, I'm starting to find that barrel a little bit more.
Hey, kids, got to ask you about Ollie Marmol. I mean, I don't know. He just looks badass sitting there with Schumacher in the dugout, and then he gets pissed off at C.B. Buckner, goes out there and blows him up and says he smirked at him. I mean, this guy is totally taken on kind of the mindset of this team. It just feels like he's out there defending y'all.
Yeah. No, Ollie, he's got a little fire in him, and I like when he goes after those umpires. He lets it eat, and it's good to see because we know that he has our backs as players. Him and Skip both. So anytime you have management like that, then you can you're kind of protected, and you can just go out there and play the game, and don't really have to worry about what the umpire's doing because the manager's got your back.
Hey, kids, I feel like you're the kind of guy, and I kind of had the same role where you need to kind of be lively in the locker room and be happy, and it's just kind of contagious. And you never want to hang out with people that are down and out. So I feel like you're that up kind of guy. And somebody on the text line said that Newt called Kiz the low-key funniest guy in the clubhouse. Like, how are you in the clubhouse? Do you talk a lot? Do you keep everything fresh? Everybody kind of chirps each other. Or you just like you take the chirps and you just roll with it, keep everybody happy kind of thing?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of the position I'm in, I have to be friends with, and I guess not be friends with, but I have to be around all the players. I got to be around the hitters. I got to be around the pitchers. So I'm kind of like that liaison between the pitching staff and the hitters and the defense. So I got to be around everybody. So I like to give everybody some crap here and there, but I'm also good at taking it. So
gotta be.
It's a fun dynamic, and I like to have fun with it.
So, kids, this is your second 5-game series in Chicago this year, it feels like. So you guys have been wheeling around a lot of different cities and stuff like that. Are you at the point now in your career where you're like, all right, I'm going to be set up in Chicago for a little bit. I got some places I want to hit. I got some places I want to eat, want to hang out.
There's no time.
You've got a restaurant you might want to check out or something that at least you keep in mind in some cities at least, right?
Yeah, there's definitely some spots in every city we go to. I'll tell you, my favorite restaurant here, it's a show spot for sure, but Maple and Ash. That's like top tier little steakhouse. It's really good. But Chicago's the best. I mean, I love coming to this city. There's some good shopping, even though, I'm kind of a window shopper. I don't buy a whole lot. I just like going to look at all the nice things. Yeah.
I hear you.
But no, it's a great city, and we enjoy coming here to play.
You guys are coming back in this weekend for the Braves. That's obviously going to be a big series, for it's at a team that's kind of in the same place as, where this team is getting to right now. But obviously you got to stay day to day. But, coming into a series like that on the horizon, you got Hall of Fame weekend that's going to be coming up too. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of big dogs that are going to be back. What do you foresee looking into that series and being ready for what's going to be a pretty good test in the middle of the run you're in right now?
Yeah, that is going to be a good test for us. You look at Atlanta's team and how they've been playing. I mean, it's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere, playoff-type series, and I think that's how we have to kind of treat that series going into it. Atlanta's they've got a really good team, and it'll be a good test for us to kind of see where we're at and see what we need to work on going forward into the last month of the season.
Well, kids, everybody's watching, man. We're all rooting for you guys. Keep putting on a show, and good luck to you, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See you guys.
All right, kids. Right on, buddy. Andrew Knizner, Cardinals catcher, great guy. Very low-key, funniest guy in the locker room, according to Newbar. He seems like a funny guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I like this team. I like everybody on it. They're cool. They're fun. They're energetic.
Good sign of a team is when you've got your stars producing, but then you've got good personalities, good guys to plug in and do the stuff in between.
They got a lot of things going on.
A lot of things that fall flat. You don't have that. So you hope it stays up. But yeah, I mean, 4 more games in one city, that's a lot to just see a team day in, day out like that.
Surprised Nate didn't ask him about Yachty.
No.
I know. Yeah,
I would never do that.
I don't want to. It crossed my mind, but I didn't want to put him on.
I took it that we all were the professionals that weren't going to do that.
No, we got to be professional with him, man. We got to protect him, dude. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to put him on the spot. I don't want him feeling uncomfortable. Keep it loose.
How great is it, too, that Milwaukee, they're having players-only meetings. They got pitchers that are calling out their front office publicly, and that thing is just spiraling so fast. Like, right before the deadline, they had a 3-game lead over the Cardinals in the Central Division, and now it's completely flip-flopped.
Well, I mean, that whole thing, I mean, they moved out on Josh Hader during that, and obviously that didn't make folks happy, especially when you're at the top of a division doing that. But, man, they might have done him a favor. He's got a 16 ERA since he landed in San Diego.
Well, I just wonder if they saw something that they say this guy might be damaged goods. Because that didn't make sense. Even for a Brewers team, you had a year and a half of control. I understand you're not going to sign him to a long-term deal, but to trade that guy in the middle of a playoff run, and he gets blown up every game now. Mm-hmm. He's not even the closer of the Padres. So I wonder if the Brewers knew a little something that, hey, this guy's not the same anymore.
It reminds me of when the Braves got out on Craig Kimbrell, and you're like, what are you doing? He's the best closer in baseball. But now you have this whole thing.
I just say take Hader out of the equation. They didn't do anything. They didn't assess any need.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals went out and got 2 pitchers, and they've combined to get the team to an 8-0 record when they start.
Well, I had to laugh the other day. We were talking about Dilson Lamet, who was part of that trade from San Diego, saying, how'd they let that guy go? And then he walks in and beans O'Neill at the end of the game. And I'm like, well, maybe that was a blessing in disguise, right?
Did O'Neill did he have any error last night? O'Neill from the outfield?
It should have been on DeYoung. So
because he missed a scoop.
It was just
he got the third.
It wasn't a great throw by O'Neill from the warning track, and it
how
gets
was
under.
O'Neill doing? By the way,
it was given to DeYoung.
Yeah, I mean it should have been on DeYoung.
How's O'Neill doing, by the way?
Not good.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
You don't hear about if you don't hear about somebody, that means they ain't dang yet in baseball.
But his offensive struggles are being camouflaged because Nootbaar's hitting the cover off the ball. You got, everybody, Pujols. You had co-NL players of the week.
Yeah.
And one of them wasn't even Nolan Arenado, who's having arguably, hell of a month.
I like to see Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson, got out there 3 times yesterday. I mean, you got to keep having those in-between-the-line performances. You love what Newt's doing right now, but, you need those staple guys that are kind of that tier underneath Goldie and Arenado, but, a bit above where Newt is at. You need those guys to be doing their things, too. And, I think that the moves at the deadline put a lot on Dylan Carlson, and I'm really paying attention to him and seeing how he's stepping up right now in this time period, too.
I think it's important that he drew 2 walks last night because when Carlson's out of whack, I mean, he's just striking out, which does nobody any good. And then he puts the ball in play, and they got the shift on him, and he just scoots a ground ball through the right side for a base hit.
He's been a guy that's done better than I think anybody. And I'm not even just, among the best in the league at saying, all right, I'll make the adjustment and go the other way and not try to hit through it. He's done really good at addressing that because that's a guy that's a 5-tool guy. He's got speed. He can get around and make something of it if you leave a whole side of the field open. So I like to see the approach.